In this class, we are going to discuss about superposition theorem and Norton's theorem. The first we consider the superposition theorem. Superposition theorem states that in a linear bilateral active network, voltage across or current through an element or branch can be obtained by algebraic sum of response of individual source when all other sources are replaced with their internal resistance. That is, in this case, we are considering one source at a time, whereas the other source are replaced by their internal resistance. Now, let me consider this is an equivalent. This is an example. Here we are having a two different source. One it is the voltage source, another it is the current source. To find out the current in this resistance R3, we can consider this source first and then replacing this source with their internal resistance. The internal resistance of voltage source is ideal voltage source is 0. The internal resistance of ideal current source is infinity, and hence when we are replacing this voltage source with an internal resistance, then it will be creating a short circuit, whereas when we are replacing the current source with an internal resistance, it will creating a open circuit. Now, using applying the concept of superposition theorem, when only voltage source is considered, the current flowing in this path in each and every element is marked as I1 dash, I2 dash, and I3 dash. Now, in this case, since this path is open and hence the current flowing in this circuit is through this path only. Now, this is the current in this case I2 dash is 0, I1 dash having some magnitude, and I1 dash is also having a some magnitude. That can be find out by V is equal to, so by I is equal to V by R1 plus R2. Similarly, when this voltage source is replaced with their internal resistance and current source is considered, the internal resistance of this source is 0, and hence it will creating a short circuit, and then the current will flow in this network in this direction, and here it will be divided in two components. One it is I1 and I3. Now let mark this current is I1 double dash, this current is I1 I3 double dash, and this will be I2 double dash. Considering the direction of these two currents, the resultant current will be, then I1 will be equals to I1 dash plus I1 double dash. I2 will be equals to I2 dash plus I2 double dash. Now I3 will be equals to, I3 is equal to I3 dash plus I3 double dash. Similarly, if you are having another network, in this network here we are having two sources, and these sources are both are voltage source. Then first source is considered, then it will be creating short circuit. When second source is considered, then first source will be creating a short circuit. Then accordingly, applying any method, we can find out I1, I2, and I3. Now, considering the steps followed in superposition theorem, there are four steps. The first is replace all the sources with their internal resistance except one. If we are considering current source and voltage source, if the current source internal resistance is infinity, whereas the voltage source internal resistance is 0. Determine the current and voltage for each element from resultant circuit, and then accordingly we can calculate current and voltage. The step 3, repeat the above process for each source and calculate the current and voltage in each element due to individual different sources. Now, once we are knowing the value of current or voltage due to each source independently, then we are going to algebraically sum all the currents and voltage in that branch or element. It will give the resultant value of current in the circuit. Now, this is applicability of superposition theorem. Where we can apply superposition theorem? It is applicable for linear and bilateral networks only. It is applicable to the network having more than one source. If there is only one source, then then there is no meaning of applying the superposition theorem. Now, it can be applied to the network having independent sources, and dependent sources are never deactivated when applying the superposition theorem. It is not applicable for the calculation of power and energy. Power and energy here means if the current in one branch due to one source is I1 dash, then power will be I1 square, I1 square, I1 square R, and let consider current in the same resistance due to another source is I2, the power will be I2 R. Then the total power due to these two different sources is not given by P1 plus P2. It is considered as P1, and the second power due to second source it is considered as P2. It is never equal to the resultant power. Why? Let we consider the resistance is 1 ohm, the current due to one source is 2 ampere, then P1 will be equals to 2 square into 1, that will be 4 watt. Then P2 will be equals to, due to the another source the current, let current is 3 ampere, that will be 3 square plus 3 square into 1, that will be 9 watt. The total wattage is P1 plus P2 is given by P1 plus P2 is given by 9 plus 4, that is 13 watt. But now if we are considering the combined effect of these currents, the current due to these sources is 25 ampere, then resultant current is 2 plus 3, that is equals to 5 ampere. If the resistance is R, the current resultant current according to superposition theorem is 5 ampere, then P will be equals to 5 square into 1. Then it will be 25 into 1, which is equals to 25 watt. And this is not equal to this value. And hence we can say superposition theorem cannot be applied for the calculation of power as the concept of current and voltage is considered. And however, when current and resultant value of current and voltage due to all the sources taking their superposition impact, then only we can find out the resultant power in the circuit or element. Now the next theorem is Norton's theorem. As the name suggests, this is given by the person named Norton, and hence the name is Norton's theorem. It states that a linear bilateral active network can be replaced with an equivalent network having a Norton equivalent current source IN in parallel with Norton equivalent resistance RN across any two terminal of the network. Now any two terminal of the network here means, let's consider these are the two terminals A and B, and we want to find out Norton equivalent circuit across terminal A and B. This is this network, this resultant network, it is here it is having only one source and three elements. This network may be having a thousand of source and thousand of elements that can be replaced by an equivalent source. That source is current source, and equivalent resistance of the network, that resistance is Norton resistance Rn, and across terminal A and B, A and B. This is In, whereas this is Rn. In is the Norton current that is calculated through this path when this load is removed, whereas the Rn is the equivalent resistance across terminal A and B when all the sources are replaced with their internal resistance and load resistance is removed from here. Now, again, in case of Norton's theorem, there are certain steps to be followed by finding out the solution. The first of all, we have to remove the load resistance. This load resistance is removed from the branch A and B, the load resistance, and short circuit this path, and this path is shorted by removing. Here it is creating a short circuit. The current flowing in this terminal A and through this terminal A and B is ISC, short circuit current, which is equivalent to Norton equivalent current. Determine the short circuit current here, then replace all these source with their internal resistance, that is current source with infinity and voltage source with 0, and obtain the equivalent network. This will be the network. Here we are having only one source, that source is voltage source. When the source is replaced with the internal resistance, it will creating a short circuit. It means R is equal to 0, and hence R1 and R3 will be in parallel, and the parallel combination of these two will be in series with the R2, and this is nothing but Rn across terminal A and B. This is the equivalent resistance. Here we calculated what is the current flowing in this terminal A, through terminal A and B, whereas here we calculated what is the equivalent resistance across terminal A and B. Now this network is replaced with equivalent circuit corresponding to the current source, where the value of the source is In, the value of this internal resistance is Rn. Now the total current divided in two parts here. One part is flowing through I in, R in, internal resistance, and then this is flowing through the load resistance. Then we can applying the current division rule, then we can calculate IL. IL is equal to total current into my resistance of opposite branch, that is Rn, divided by sum of resistance. IL is calculated, then once IL is known to us, we can calculate voltage across the load. Now, the applicability of the Norton's theorem. It is applicable to linear and bilateral network, but load element branch can be non-linear. This branch can be non-linear because while developing the Norton equivalent circuit, this branch is always removed across terminal A and B, and hence it doesn't matter what this element is. This element may be linear or non-linear, but the rest of the network should be linear. Now, it can be applied to the network having dependent and independent source. It is applicable to the network having any number of source, as superposition theorem is applicable when the sources in a network there are more than one source, whereas here it can be applicable for whether there is a single source or there are number of source. It can be applicable for the calculation of power and energy in particular branch or element. Here in this case, because the resultant value of current is obtained, rather than we are considering the superposition effect of one source and another source, here resultant value of current is obtained, and hence we can easily calculate power and energy in particular branch as well, which is not in the case of superposition theorem.